It is the Riot Podcast. So we saved a lot of the show today, and
Good thing or bad thing?
I always get nervous about that because I'm like,
Well, remember, coming off a holiday, we normally have a little bit more to say. We got to get it out, and it lasts longer.
Apparently it did. We had things to say.
Hopefully you guys had a great Memorial Day yesterday. We did not do a podcast, so we're glad to be back. There was no way to hide that yawn.
No,
It started with a stretch, and I was like, oh, it should just be a quick stretch. No, it was not a quick stretch.
I don't even want to hide it.
No, it's fine.
Do you guys want to know who we really are? There. You just got a dose of it right there. That's the real deal.
And then you'll learn more during the show, during the podcast.
We do talk about why are we always tired.
Yeah, we talked about that.
That does show up. We also talk about Nikki and her tone.
Okay.
I actually have noticed, not just with Eric, but with me, her tone has been a little rougher over the last couple weeks.
Because I'm not putting up with it and even no, season. See?
That's a great...
I'm standing up for myself, and if you feel that's a different tone...
Oh, here we go.
Just joking.
Can you imagine me talking to you like that?
What?
I'm standing up for myself.
Whatever.
Okay, see? Tone.
Whatever.
So we talk about getting haircuts, going to Old Navy. Wow, what a weekend.
Well, that hasn't even happened, your haircut thing. That's coming
today.
up.
Chick-Fil-A cheating at racing.
Oh, the Chick-Fil-A story is really cute.
It actually is nice.
That one's a good story.
Suing over Hellboy, Skyrim Grandmas and bullying. Importing Blu-rays, how not to become Spider-Man, royal luggage, and royal military service. So, plenty of stuff to keep you busy.
Hopefully you enjoy the podcast. Do not forget, you should join us at RadioU Riot on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So you're following us there. And then if you want to go a next step, make sure you text us anytime you come up with an article or something you want us to talk about during the next podcast. Or if you just want to say hello and hopefully you're enjoying it, if you text 877 to RadioU and put your name and that you're a podcast listener, we'll see that when we get back in the studio.
Yes, indeed. Anything else, Nikki?
Enjoy the fantastic Tuesday that it is.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
It's weird how Nikki and I have changed places over the years. Like, I feel like I used to sit where she is sitting and she used to sit where I am sitting. And now I find myself having to talk to her about tone.
Tone and how bad it is?
Like, tone is important, Nikki.
No, these are so expensive that tone just goes out the door.
Tone is important. And the other thing is that sometimes, we're not supposed to say anything when you get the window treatments that you want.
Whatever I get.
Right. That's supposed to be fine and reasonable and makes perfect sense, and it's an investment.
Uh-huh.
But, when Eric needs something, then it's, why do we need this? And it's too much.
So Eric's building a home theater. We haven't had one in a while, so he's gotten back into that. And
big time, guys.
The Google Doc that I have seen that hasn't mapped out is astonishing about what he expects to do in this room. And I've had to just explain that sometimes he's 20, I'm like 5. If we could just meet in the middle somewhere between how much we want to put into this room. But that's what he likes to do.
I feel like it's so far past anything that I've ever even considered.
And it's Reddit's fault, and that's all I'm saying.
It's
all those forums.
It's amazing. Like, Eric's ideas, the stuff he has shown me, because he's like building his own speakers.
Yeah.
The way I would build a computer from parts, that's what Eric is doing with a speaker. And I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't want to do that.
So we started jumping into it yesterday. He got subwoofers.
Yeah, he said it only goes on sale like every so often.
I don't know if I believe that.
Now, Nikki, okay.
But he got 2 of them. And I was like, well, why do you need 2? Why can't we just start off with 1?
As he's explained it to me, there's a possibility of fall off.
Well, yeah.
At different places in the room.
So I don't know. I just had a real hard time with 2. I thought we could just make do with 1.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. So.
Is that the life you want to live, Nikki, and make do? Or do you want your best life now?
He was also telling me, like, the center speaker, under the projector, because we have a screen on the wall.
Yeah.
The center speaker is 4 feet tall. It's just so much. It's so much. There's not enough space between the 4 feet tall speaker and the screen because the screen is so big.
Well, as he's explained it to me, it's going to be a wall of speakers, and
he's
like
making
there will
a
be
faux wall with the speakers
right,
behind it.
Right. Yeah. So what do you? It's that sound transparent material.
Yeah, so it should be fine. But there's a lot. There's just a lot to it.
Yeah.
And so yesterday was that day.
And you know what? How excited was he? And how was your tone?
It was fine, actually, during the day.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Just afterwards, just like, why do we have to have two?
The tone in this room, I feel like, has been not as supportive as it could be.
Well, I didn't know this list was I didn't see this list of what all this theater will encompass.
Yeah.
I didn't see that until I think it was Saturday or Sunday night. And I didn't know that's all what we were planning. I didn't know this. So that's why the tone changed a bit. But we're good. We're supportive and we're fine.
It's serious. I'll just tell you this right now. It's exciting because, your neighbor with the weird chickens and stuff.
He'll be able to experience this.
No, he's going to move.
Oh, he will.
You don't have to worry about that.
It's not going to be that loud because I don't want to. I don't want to offend anybody.
It's not going to be that loud.
No, it'll be fine. It's an inside noise. It really targets inside.
Okay.
Now I know why he wanted he's got this
18-inch subwoofers.
He got this special acoustic stuff that goes in between the drywall and the stuff in the basement.
Yeah.
So it's got all this filler thing to help with noise, and that's why we have that.
He wants you to be able to still relax while he can enjoy
his sound, his wall of sound,
his pursuits.
So yeah, that was yesterday.
This is just a reminder to watch your tone.
Watch my tone. Great.
Maybe the riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the riot on Radio U.
So, Twitter's always having a hashtag is over party constantly. Just insert name of someone is over party.
It's a daily thing.
I think as far as America seemed over the weekend, hashtag COVID is over party. I think they're canceling COVID-19.
I went on a couple of drives, but didn't have any family things. But I saw a lot of people who had parties.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I was surprised.
I did not party this weekend. I was not out doing that. I was out at times. But the thing that I couldn't get over is just what you said. What I saw was like, oh, we're all done with this now, huh?
Apparently, we're over it. And I went I was downtown for something to drive around, and I went through our downtown area, and man, there was a lot of people out there too. There was everywhere.
It was...
It was something.
It was happening.
And I didn't want to be like, hey, where's our masks at? But no one really had any masks.
No.
No one was probably distanced enough. They were just walking past each other.
I ended up in a Lowe's at one point, and I did forget to put my mask on. And I was like, oh, I forgot. And that was the place I went that everyone was wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. And then after that, everywhere else I went, I had a mask on. And I was just like, what's this guy's problem?
Well, it just kind of shows
Where does he think he's coming from?
It kind of shows you how, you have to give people some slack, because wherever you're coming from or whatever you're doing, it's different from place to place on if you're supposed to wear one, or what are you doing, or will you be reprimanded for wearing one or applauded? You don't know.
It's a whole thing, man. It is a whole thing. But dude, it was certainly, let's just say this. If you're going to spend any time on the internet today, you're going to see nothing but picture after picture of, shall I use the word revelers?
Lots of parties, lots of gatherings,
lot of things happening. This weekend, the beaches were open. The people were on the beaches. It was happening.
I think people were just kind of tired of it all and just wanted to see family and friends. And hopefully, if you did, you kept yourself far enough away.
Yeah. Hey, man, I feel it. Sunday afternoon? I watched a movie by myself, and I was just like, man. And I'm the guy that goes to the movie theater alone and doesn't care.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But something about Sunday afternoon, I was like, this sucks. I'm sitting in my basement alone watching a movie.
You didn't need to. Everybody else was out.
I guess.
You didn't have to do that.
Heck, man, I could have shown up at any party. I'm seriously, there were so many houses on my block where it looked like war is over party. We, World War II just ended. Like, we're throwing a big party, ticker tape parade down the street. Actually, there were those too. That was graduations.
Oh, yeah, one of those.
There's a lot of those.
Well, hopefully everybody stayed safe, but still had a good time over the weekend.
Well, Nikki, the scathing editorials I'm reading says that we didn't stay safe, and it's just a
But everybody did have a good time.
Everybody had a good time. They didn't stay safe, and it just goes to show you that we don't care.
Is 1 out of 2 okay? Is it not okay?
50%.
We're trying. It's a learning process.
No, Nikki, they say you're not trying.
Well, I didn't, so I didn't go to any parties.
Yeah, me either.
So we are trying, all right?
I think it might be not because I'm conscientious. I think I just didn't get invited.
Wasn't invited to anything. They knew we would tell.
It's fine.
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Well, I'm not the only basement dweller out there. I'm looking here at a list of what was your favorite TV show to watch by state during the COVID-19 outbreak.
Oh, we have a list?
Yes, and so this is coming from CableTV.com.
Oh.
They've compiled this list. And the states of Washington and Oregon, Star Trek.
Really? It's odd.
It does seem a little odd, doesn't it?
Which Star Trek?
It doesn't say, just Star
Trek.
Maybe.
Maybe that's it.
I mean, I watched, was that during the thing?
No, Picard was before.
Yeah, but like, did it run? Did it overlap?
I thought it ended right before.
Yeah, I don't remember. Okay, so let's see. Friends was the big winner. Friends took a ton of states. California, Texas, Louisiana.
It's like an election year.
It is. Florida, North and South Carolina, New York State. Let's see, Ohio.
So what are they watching it on then? Just cable, like reruns and stuff?
I guess, right? Because, I mean, Friends hasn't been on streaming since January 1, right?
Yeah, it's out. So.
And then it'll come back tomorrow. It's going to be on HBO Max.
Woo! Is it on there, or I don't remember?
Oh, no, it is.
I didn't know if it started with it.
No, that is their thing.
That's called the premium content.
Like it's the thing that makes you think this might not work out when their big thing is a 15-year-old show.
But still, I mean, if it showed you that this was the big thing, even when it wasn't on a streaming service.
People are watching it. In Ohio, it was actually tied for Friends and NCIS. So you know that Sydney was a big part of.
Sydney likes NCIS. She likes any acronym show.
She's watched like all 20 seasons of it. In a weekend.
Is that how old that show is?
Oh, yeah. It's ancient. Let's see. A couple other spots. Radio. Let's do some Radio U home states.
17 seasons.
17. All right. Michigan, Shameless was your favorite show. Let's see. Oklahoma, it was Gilmore Girls.
Hey,
oh, Nikki.
I love that show.
And I think we actually have hit all our states.
That's all of it?
Yeah. Illinois' favorite is Chicago PD.
I guess.
Well, Nikki, that is where Chicago is.
Yeah, it would work.
Yeah.
They're living it, though. They shouldn't be watching it.
Well, they are. And the one state where I would probably fit right in, is that Vermont or Rhode Island? I don't know. It's one of those. Seinfeld.
Oh, really?
It's the only state
that was the Seinfeld. That was there?
Yeah.
So this is based on not streaming services, but cable.
Yes. So this is what people are watching on actual TV, which is not us, but it's fine.
Interesting to hear the list. And that was during the coronavirus, the heart of the stay-at-home stuff.
Mm-hmm. Which everybody, as we said, apparently gave up on over the weekend. At least that's what we saw.
We would give the riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the riot on Radio U.
Over the weekend, I tried Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
And so the thing that I'm trying right now is I'm working on a Facebook ad. I did that where you can do a Facebook ad for something that you put on Marketplace. And so you can, for like $3, it'll run for 3 days and et cetera, et cetera. And you know what? Not bad. Like, I've gotten a ton.
Is that an option when you give feedback to Facebook? You're like, not bad.
Well, I've gotten a ton of traffic from it, but I haven't sold anything yet.
Sure.
I did have one. I've got a guy that he made an offer on one thing, and I was like, you know what? if I don't, basically by the end of the show, if I like something else doesn't come through, I'm going to meet him somewhere and
in between.
Go and sell it. Yeah, because I was like, you know what? His offer is decent. I just want to see if I can do any better. So I might just take him up on it.
It's a pretty good idea.
Just go from there. Have you ever done that?
Put in money on an ad posting on Facebook Marketplace? No, I've not.
Does that feel like a waste of money?
Well, it seems like the opposite of what we're doing, but it depends on the item.
Okay.
Like if I was selling a laptop or something a little bit more high money, then yes, maybe I would.
Well, it's an interesting thing trying to like get it out there. The other thing, and I say what they will, but like for me, I live in the suburbs of a major metropolitan area.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I'll post something, and so a lot of times I'll say that I live somewhere I don't.
Sure,
like
bigger part.
Yeah, I'll list it somewhere that's in the city because if I tell you where I actually live, you'll be like, I'm not going out there. What a waste of my time.
Or they might not just see it and just might brush past it.
And so it's something where you got to think it through.
Sure.
Nikki, on the other hand, prime real estate. She lists stuff, and people are like, yeah.
They're fine. They come running.
What Nikki doesn't know is I give out her address all the time.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And that's how I really sell stuff.
Some you just really are supposed to meet somewhere in between.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that. Some people want... I had multiple offers yesterday if I would be willing to knock the price to less than half and also drive it over to them.
Well, I don't. That just drives me crazy when people do that. And then they get mad if you won't.
Well, you know what my thought was? Is that, if you didn't have anything invested like personally and you're just like, if you'll bring it, I'll take it. I guess that works. It's infuriating.
Not
but
when
sure.
the price is that low.
Like, yeah, I'll tell you what. And you know what? Do you want me to clean while I come over? I'll tell you what. I'll knock the price down.
What were you the one last week that did, though?
What did I do?
You sold something and you drove it over?
Oh, that was different.
Was it?
It was.
It wouldn't fit in the car?
They came to my house. It wouldn't fit. And so I threw it in my car and I drove it to their house.
That's beyond customer service right there.
Yeah, but to me, that's different. They were like, hey, I want this.
Yeah, they did
whatever.
come over in the first place.
They came over. Like this idea of, hey, drive 40 minutes, knock the price in half, and while you're here, my bathrooms haven't been cleaned in a long time.
So get to it.
Yeah. You understand where I'm coming from.
Well, hopefully that works well for you.
Fingers crossed.
Sometimes I even go back and try Craigslist.
I was thinking about it. I'm selling my Oculus Rift and my graphics card. I think I'm going to go all in on a newer, bigger graphics card. And so...
those are bigger ticket items?
They are. And
you have to find a particular audience for that, though.
And I don't want to sell them on eBay. Heavens, no.
Well, no one said anybody's doing that. It's been years.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So I'm going to get a haircut today. I'll make sure I wear my mask and gloves and basically cover everything except for my hair. And then they'll cut that part. And then I'll pay them and I'll walk out and hopefully not end up with the COVID-19. Not the case in Great Clips in Springfield, Missouri. Oh, Nikki. The Great Clips there had a stylist that was symptomatic and came to work anyway.
Oh, really?
Oh, wait. Did I say they had a stylist? I meant they had two stylists.
Well, did you see how Great Clips became a couple of weeks ago when most areas you could start doing haircuts again? It was trending because there'd be lines out the door.
Yes.
People waiting to get their haircut there.
I saw that.
Yeah, and it was just what are we doing here? But stylists are still coming in.
But the other thing I will tell you is that some of that's a little misleading because they won't let anybody in the waiting area.
Oh, so everybody has to wait outside.
So you're doing all of your waiting outside. And that's the case with a whole lot of businesses. I had an experience with that over the weekend. I'll tell you more later. But we've got this Great Clips in Missouri. Two stylists showed up.
And they had symptoms and they still showed up.
So they have tested positive for COVID-19, and now they are reaching out to the 140 customers
that they saw
over those 2 days to let them know, hey, just your hairstylist totally had the Rona.
They're supposed to tell you and notify you.
You probably do too. Stay home.
You should. What do they say? You should quarantine or something?
Well, that's the question I have, and I need to research this a little bit better. But, if you've been in contact with somebody who had it. For the longest time, it was like, okay, you have to quarantine for 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
But could you now just go and get a test and then you basically quarantine until you get the test results back?
That's a good question.
Is that how that works now?
Probably, but why don't we just say maybe a little of both? Get the test and take some time and hide.
Well, I don't know. Those test results things, that's a mixed bag. I had a family member that had to have it because he was sick for something else. And so they gave him a COVID test. It came back negative. And so he was in the clear. And that took like a day and a half to get the results. I've got another person I know. They are having surgery, so they had to have the COVID test. They had that COVID test last Wednesday.
Oh, they still don't have it?
Still haven't heard. I mean, I guess maybe the doctor was like, man,
at that point,
early weekend, right?
Well, yeah, over the holiday, but maybe there's nothing to tell. Like it's a no.
Yeah, that's the big question.
But you would think they would tell you.
In the meantime, they're locked in the basement.
Aww.
Throw some food down there every once in a while. Change the bucket.
Every place is different.
Yeah. So just a heads up that if you have symptoms, you're not supposed to go. I know that's hard, but you're not supposed to. But
well, it's not even that. It's not like you're just going to get your hair cut. You're not supposed to be the one who would be infecting all those people. So you're really supposed to not go.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for bossing me around. It's a free country, Nikki.
Well, yes, but let's be safe.
In the meantime, I'm getting a haircut today. Fingers crossed.
You'll be fine.
How to survive the riot. Do the complete opposite of everything they say. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
So we're talking long lines outside of getting your hair cut. I stood in a line this weekend outside of a business. I went to Old Navy.
You did?
I did. And
to go shopping, or obviously?
No, I was just in there to, hang. I like to hang out in there.
It's like, what else can one do in there?
I used to work there, and so, I just every once in a while just get nostalgic. I just got to go in and feel the place out a little bit.
Sure.
See what they're doing with the displays. Check out what music they're playing over and over and over and over again.
They hire you to come back in and critique and just see what areas can we improve in.
Yeah.
How was it clothes shopping?
It was fine.
Just stay a distance away. And
so it was like this. You get the impression when you see these lines outside of stores that the stores are packed full of people. Oh, my gosh. But instead, I go to Old Navy. I have to wait in line. So, and like... Man, Old Navy line. Come on. But I did anyway.
Sure.
So waiting in line, and that took 25 minutes probably.
Is it because they only let so many people in?
Yes. So when they're slowly, as people are leaving the store, they're letting more people in. And I just imagine that I'm going to get in there and just be crawling all over people, and it's going to be crazy. No, there was very few people in the store at all.
Did you feel pressure, like you have to shop fast?
I just decided I'm taking my time.
No, did you? But then everybody has to wait longer. I would have felt so much pressure.
Listen, when's the last time? Do you imagine me when I go to Old Navy, like just wandering around?
That's true. You wouldn't be there long.
Taking it all in. No, I went in, got what I was there for, and left. And it was fine. Waited in line. They're like, yeah, the checkout line's really long. I was like 4 people deep. Who cares? So in general, that experience was fine. In fact, one of the things that I thought was, if they did this all the time,
it wouldn't be the worst.
I might be on board for this because the actual experience of being in the store minus 80% of the crowd, that was a positive experience.
But I think it's hard if you're going past a smaller local establishment,
sure,
you might not give it a try because you think there's some sort of long wait, so it might be hard to get in.
Listen, I'm not speaking out in favor or against. I'm apolitical. I'm just telling you that going to Old Navy and there isn't a crowd, that's good. Going to Old Navy on a regular day, why am I even in there? Why do I hate myself?
This one's maybe a little better setup.
It was. Now, standing outside the store was not great, but it was a pleasant day. There was a nice breeze. I was in the shade. That wasn't bad. You put the sun in a slightly different position, and I hate my life, and I would have never stayed.
Okay.
So, I mean...
Well, that's interesting to find out.
A lot of things that have to come together. But, yeah, it was not a bad experience. There were a lot of people that are angry about waiting in the line. In fact, you just knew it was going to happen. It's almost my turn. There's one couple in front of me, and something happened, so there's a slightly longer delay. The guy gets really mad and finally just walks off, and I was like, oh... He didn't have it. Like, he was 30 seconds from getting in the store.
Yeah.
And so I move up into position. That guy walks out. They don't even make it to the car. And they just let me in. If he would have just waited.
If one more second.
He needed one more minute of patience, and he would have been in the store. So I guess what I'm telling you guys is hang on.
But you got in then early.
I did. I was like, man, I just knew it. I knew it was going to happen. As soon as he got fed up and walked off, I was like, that's the sign. It's happening.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, it's interesting to see parents going viral for cruelty and then other parents being like, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll be cruel to my kids too. And you're just like, oh, man, really? This is what you're doing right now? Her name's Erin. She's a lifestyle blogger, mommy blogger. Follow me on Instagram. She is giving her kids water popsicles.
What is that?
It's a popsicle. It's an ice cube.
Oh, so then the kid doesn't know that they're just having water? That's so mean.
That is the worst.
You could at least add a little something to it.
Give them something.
Little bit.
And put some food coloring in it, for crying out loud. People are like, this is so smart. She is giving her kids water popsicles to stay hydrated. They're not getting any sugar, and they think they're getting a treat.
So they fall for it?
Oh, yeah. They get excited. We're getting popsicles. Mommy, the popsicles. Mommy.
They're going to be in for a real eye-opener the first time they get a real popsicle.
Man, that's like... it's going to change their life. And all this, like, they're going to be healthier.
They're going to be mad at you.
Let me tell you what. First time
So
that
mad.
kid gets out of the house and realizes that, like, they're going to see a flavor ice for the first time.
Go crazy with it.
And they're going to lose
They're
their
going to see
mind.
that everything else was just nothing but a lie.
And all of a sudden, you're going to be the worst. And Billy's mom's going to be the best.
Mommy lied about everything.
Mom, what else did you lie about, Mom?
You must not love me.
What else did you lie about?
So I see that as being a can of worms.
Yeah.
That you could possibly open later. But all right, so that's what she does?
Yep. You can see where she's coming from.
I guess.
But it's bad, and you've made a huge mistake.
Can't you just do like the ratio thing where, like it's 10% whatever and then 90% water?
I mean, I suppose you could.
That way, just a little sugar, a little flavor.
It's a little something.
Yeah, you just put like, I don't know, like Gatorade, like 0-1.
You know what I say? Skip the popsicles. Can we get a blizzard in here?
We could just have ice cream.
Like, can we
There's
just
no
go?
lying with that. You can't lie your way through that.
Yeah, my mom used to give me ice cream. It was just water.
It's like it's ice cubes. It's just shaved ice.
Whee!
So that's why she's sticking with popsicles.
That's right. So, hey, there's a pro tip for you. If you're trying to lose weight and you want a special treat, just eat ice.
Well, I got these organic bomb pops sort of things from Costco the other week.
Yeah.
And it's totally what they do. They taste really good at first, and then you take off the first top layer of it, and it looks just like water inside. Like there's no more coloring, there's no more flavor.
It doesn't look just like water.
It is.
It is water.
So that's exactly why you're like, wow, how can it have so many few calories, and why is it so good for us?
Because you paid for ice.
I basically
You
did.
bought a bag of ice.
With a very thin layer of a cherry limeade around it. That's all you get.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the Riot. Then, they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Formula E.
We learned.
What the heck is that?
We figured it out. Well, actually, you guys told us.
It's Formula One, but with electric cars.
So Formula One cars, electric, and everybody kept saying, for all the people who sent us that info, that it's very, very slow.
Well, comparatively slow.
Compared to, if you're usually an F1 racing fan. But FE is that, Formula E.
They have, this is a quote from Quora, they have less developed aerodynamics and narrower tires compared to F1, meaning they can't go as quickly around the corners. So they, like so many other things, sports, they've all been trying to figure out what to do while they can't hold their seasons. And one of the things they have done is online races.
Formula E's had a race at home challenge.
And so I wonder what it's not here, so I don't know. But I wonder what game they were using for that. That would be worth looking into. So one guy in particular, he's a German driver named Daniel Abbott. He decided that, he decided he wanted to do well.
He finished third in the most recent version of the at-home challenge.
Yes.
And he's a real driver.
He is a real driver.
So they have their real drivers compete just like, you had it for the NBA and other stuff.
So he had his camera turned off, and a lot of people were going, hey, why does he have his camera turned off? And with a little more looking around, it turns out it was because he was actually having a professional gamer do his driving for him.
Which I like. He only got third, though, with a professional gamer. And it was the guy who was in second place in the race who suspected and told on him and found out that he'd been using another person to win. So this German guy, the racer, Daniel, is now disqualified from the last race and has all of his points from the series wiped off.
And he has to pay about a $13,000 fine, something in that neighborhood.
That's a pretty good amount of money.
Yeah, he apologized saying the following: I did not take it as seriously as I should have. I'm especially sorry about this because I know how much work has gone into the project on the part of the Formula E organization. I'm aware that my offense has a bitter aftertaste, but it was never meant with any bad intention.
Couldn't he have just passed or just not done it? I mean, it's not the real racing series, but just because you're a good race car driver in real life doesn't mean you'll be able to do it in the gaming world.
Well, it would have been a heck of a lot cheaper to put together a decent gaming rig and just go ahead and do the driving than paying $13,000 in fines.
Well, he had a wheel and stuff.
Yeah.
So he had a driving wheel.
That's what I mean. Like one of those racing chairs are like roughly around $1,000, I think. Not that I've looked at them at all.
No, doesn't seem like it.
It's fine.
So again, the 27-year-old Formula E driver was doing the at-home challenge, and he hired a gamer guy to actually run the race for him, got third place, but then got found out.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people are saying like, hey, duh, being a good video game player and a good race car driver, not the same thing. It's not, but there is an element of, with certain kinds of games, they're pushing hard to create a simulation experience. And the argument is that if the simulation is good, that the skills should translate.
And since they can't have races, they want you to be out there still doing something.
I can't remember his name, but there was a guy who is now a NASCAR driver that taught himself how to drive and taught him the NASCAR tracks
by a game,
using a game. Yeah, so that was kind of famously a thing, but I sure don't remember his name. Something Earnhardt. I don't know.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You have a question I would like to ask you, and I've asked it before, but that doesn't mean the thought would be like, because I asked it before, you would think, oh, certainly he's come to peace with this. He's whatever. But each time I ask it, I mean it with the same amount of passion, maybe even more
than the first time.
What's
the question?
Are we ever going to not be tired?
No, it's good. This is it. This is how it is.
I had a long weekend.
Did you sleep a lot?
Okay. This is another thing that I don't understand. And admittedly, this could be like I take antidepressants. It could have been a thing like that. But I had just a fantastic weekend. I had plenty of energy. I was having fun. Like
Lots of sunshine.
Yeah, like I accomplished so many things that I needed to accomplish for a long time. And it was great. And then yesterday afternoon, I took a nap. And when I woke up, I was a different person.
Because you were tired?
I literally went from like, woo, to just like, I don't even know why we bother living.
Sometimes naps can hurt you. Depending on the time and the length of it, did it keep you up last night?
Nope. No. In fact, I could barely keep my eyes open the rest of the day. And then this morning when I got up, I couldn't tell you the last time, but like I was supposed to run today. Oh, no.
That's not happening.
Not only did I not go for a run this morning, but I slept on the floor in my closet for so long. I haven't had a shower. I didn't even... Here, let's get real.
Yeah.
I didn't even brush my teeth today.
Didn't even brush your teeth today because you're so tired?
I was so tired and so out of time that I was just like, I got up. I did put on deodorant. That's a plus. And I did chew some gum in the car. Because I was just like, you know what? You have to do something.
Technically, it shows your body can do this. Your body wasn't tired the other days.
Right.
So what goes on? What happens?
What?
Don't be mad at yourself.
I'm mad at everything now.
Don't be
Actually,
mad.
I'm not. I'm too tired to be mad about it. But I was just wondering.
People are like, don't you want to care more? You're like, I can't possibly.
I couldn't possibly care any more than this. What is going on? When are after that great weekend?
Yeah.
I got up every day this weekend and ran. But in the early morning hours, because I was like, I just want to enjoy the weekend.
I don't know what to
I just want to enjoy this time.
I don't know what to tell you then. I don't know if there'll ever be an answer or there'll ever be a fix for this. Some say allergies. Some say this. Some say that. We're all different, unique creatures.
I just know that I don't think I have ever come in here and done this show when I wasn't 30 seconds from falling asleep.
So it's probably based on the time that we have to get up for the show then. It really is.
I'm just wondering if, I'm not the worst at this job, but I'm not the best. I'm, let's say that I'm to the right side of the curve, a little better than most, but not as good as some.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Sure. But what if there is somebody that is so good at this that's just on the other side of that tired? What if I went from being the 51st percentile to the 96th percentile?
How do you
if
do
I
it,
could
though?
just get myself awake.
How do you do it?
I have no idea.
It is the big reason why a lot of radio uses enhancers.
Telling you what, man.
To enhance the experience because they cannot physically keep it up. But I don't know.
It's cool. It's fine. And you know what? The part that really gets me is I wouldn't trade this. I want to do this. This is not something where I'm like, well, I couldn't get a job doing anything else. Now, I might say that joke for a lot, but I want to do this.
You just want to do it without being tired.
But I'm just tired.
Won't happen.
All right.
Maybe if you settle into that.
What? Just accept it?
And then with acceptance comes... a new understanding.
I'll accept it for a while, and then I'll come back and ask you this question again.
We'll go through it. It's a cycle.
We'll just have to have this
vicious cycle.
We'll have to have this talk one more time.
Well, I'm sorry that there's no real answer.
All right. That's fine. We have free coffee. I stood in there and I was like, God, thank you for coffee. Thank you. Thank you.
Start drinking coffee the night before. It's fine.
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Sure, your dad's good. You might even have, we were talking about percentiles earlier. Some of you might have a 51st percentile dad. Some of us, you get a 5 percentile. But you might be in those 90th percentiles. You might be way up there on good dad ratings. But is he this good? The tale of Julio Segura, 53 years old. Mm-hmm. Every year, he buys his daughter, Diana, her favorite chicken sandwich from Chik-Fil-A.
Yeah.
On her birthday.
Oh, that's sweet.
Now, he lives in El Paso. She's in Austin, Texas, where she is currently studying, I believe, aerospace engineering.
Well, way to go on that one.
Yeah, seriously, awesome.
We're not even family, and I'm proud of her.
Way to go, man. It's great. So he went ahead and drove the 8.5, 9 hours.
Oh, did he drive her the chicken sandwich?
And drove her the chicken sandwich.
That is so sweet.
He did.
Oh, he decided not to let the virus get in the way of the tradition this year.
Yeah, and so they are socially distancing, so he did not hug her, and they sat apart, and he stayed for about half an hour.
Did you see what he brought her with the lunch?
Balloons.
Double bonus.
And chicken.
Oh, that is so sweet. That's a nice dad.
That really is awesome. Really.
The pictures are so cute, too.
Legit awesome. So he did that. What amazing dad. He's probably looking for something super special for Father's Day this year. So he's earning it.
No, he's just a nice guy.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
So he got in the car at 4:15 in the morning, 17-hour round trip journey from El Paso to Austin.
Mm-hmm. So, dude, high five on that one.
Good
really
job.
Great.
Oh, he told me since he couldn't do much, he wanted to show, he wanted to know what I would like for lunch and that he would send an Uber Eats order with it, but instead he brought it instead.
Fantastic.
Great
so she
idea.
opened the door expecting Uber Eats.
Yeah, because he brings a sandwich for lunch on her birthday every year, and he's never missed a year.
That's great.
Cute. It's good. I like good stories.
That is a good story. So, you know what? Fist bump to that dad. And, girl, you take care of him, okay?
Don't forget this.
He's
Not every dad is like that.
he's a keeper.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Okay, it's time to see a show of hands. How many of you guys pirated Hellboy instead of purchasing it full retail and watching it at home?
Was it last year that the other one came out, or it's
I
the
can't-
guy from Stranger Things
It
that
is
was in it?
David Harbour.
I like him, but I don't think it did well.
No, I don't think it did either. It looked expensive.
Well, sometimes that's the problem.
That's not always
He
a good
can't
thing.
possibly make the money back then.
So it didn't do as well. And, you know, sometimes, Nikki, when you don't do as well in the front door, you start trying the side door.
Sure.
Like, hey, maybe we can make some money this way. One of the things that the Hellboy people have been saying is like, look, one of the things that really hurt us was piracy.
Yeah. Well, that is true. For certain movies that don't do well in theaters, no one wants to go see them, but they'll see them at home.
Yeah. And so in this particular case, the people that, one of the filmmaking companies, they decided to sue a company called MKV Cage. I have no idea what it is, some kind of a pirate site, whatever. But according to them, they say that the movie was downloaded from that website 16,942 times.
I thought you'd tell me a larger number, but that's fine.
Yeah. So they say that they are now owed, as a result, $270,000 in damages. They say that number is reached by taking the $15.95 that the Blu-ray disc would have cost and multiplying it by the 16,942 people. You end up with roughly $270,000, and they say they're entitled to that money.
So based on this site, though, because a lot of times they go after with larger amounts of money because it doesn't maybe just stop at you, but then the pirating continues by you feeding it to another site,
Right.
or like, what is the word? Are you the seed or whatever for it? I'm surprised they're going for just a lower number, not like a couple of million.
Well, it's probably that this is, they can confirm this number.
This is a
of
practical
downloads.
number.
They have a number they can point to and say,
Yeah.
this is how many times it was downloaded.
But if you think about, well, how many people watch it from that one, you know, if you have a group of people over.
I couldn't tell you the answer to that, Nikki.
So they're suing them?
So, yes, and they were asking for something they call some certain, which is apparently a legal term. It's usually used with people who have, what do you call it? If you're not paying your rent or things like that, where it's like you can actually point to a dollar amount. It's very clear.
That they were owed.
And the judge, instead of dragging on, the judge will say, all right, you owe them this amount of money. Done.
Where if they were trying to do a more open-ended number, it would have dragged on. But
Right.
instead, hey, this is the basic of what we want back.
The judge was like, nah.
No?
Nah.
They're not going to make them pay?
Yeah, they say that the problem is the price of a Blu-ray. It varies so much that you can't assign a number to it.
But if you go to the lowest amount, you know, for a Blu-ray, and plus that wasn't Blu-ray time, that was movie theater time.
Like Black Friday Blu-ray, like $3 a piece?
Yeah, you'd still get some money.
Yeah, you know, get, instead of $270,000, you could get almost $60,000.
With lawyer fees, well over the millions.
Yeah. So I don't blame him for going big. But the thing is, this guy, as I understand it, he doesn't even, he's not even in the United States. I feel like this was going to be like a tax write-off for them or something. They'll never get that money.
Yeah, that or they just wanted to show, hey, the movie was more people watched it than just its theater numbers.
Like there's a thing here. It's like that, and this has been a long time ago, but there was a big leak on the Sony servers. And what was the movie? The Expendables 3.
There was that old Austin Powers.
That one.
That guy's
the
movie, Mike
Myers movie called The Love Guru.
Yeah.
And it leaked before it went to theaters. And they say that that's the reason that the movie didn't do well in theaters.
When really it was just because it was a bad movie, but that's what they say. So they make it.
Well, it makes them feel better.
Makes them feel better because they can point to that.
Yeah.
Are people really still listening to the riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
What's wrong with you people? And maybe it's not you. Maybe it's them.
It's someone else.
But dang, people are beating up on Skyrim Grandma.
So this was like from a month or so ago, I think, but they're finally just seeing it.
Okay, I did not hear about this.
Yeah,
until
no one
just
really
now.
did. But now they're noticing, look what you did to this older grandma, which I forgot about her.
Jerks. We found out about her a year, maybe 2 years ago. Her name is Shirley Curry. She's 82 years old. And she's a popular streamer. People call her Skyrim Grandma because she's an older lady.
And she plays Skyrim.
She plays Skyrim, and she likes it. And
she films it all.
She does. And she just, she didn't just. We just found out about it, but she's taking a break.
Yeah, that is what's going around now because it's not like for a good reason. It's because basically she just said she can't handle the trolls that are online anymore.
Yeah, she says, and you know what? This is a great quote. I'm not enjoying recording anymore at all. It's no longer fun. I feel like I'm under a microscope all the time. I have much more fun and I play much better when I'm just playing by myself.
I don't know enough about her, though, but she says specifically that she plays a little bit differently and people critique and criticize her way of playing Skyrim. And that seems to be the heart of it, that she just wants to play how she plays.
I love it.
And no one needs to tell her any other way.
These quotes are just great. I don't need people telling me what sword to use or shield to use. I have my favorites.
Yeah, she just wants to play it how she wants to play it.
I love that.
So she's gone through and, deleting comments and stuff.
Yeah.
She said that if you're going to leave something negative, she's going to delete it. But you have to realize in order to delete it, she has to see it and read it. And that's what's just getting too much for her.
I'll tell you what, for real, like some of the stuff, some of the things that I've encountered on the internet that people have said to other people have blown my mind. I had some friends that had a thing and they were like, we need help from somebody. So I helped them. I went in and I basically became their filter and I deleted all their whatever. And it is shocking what people will say to other people online. It's just shocking. You're just like, how could you even type that? Where did that come from?
I think you can ban certain words, though. Like I would have gone in and banned a couple of words. And then if worse comes to worse and you still enjoy playing, turn off your comments.
Also,
she's older. She's not doing this, I don't feel like, for the fame and glory. Doing it for fun. Yeah, so if you just want to do it for fun, turn off your comments.
She's probably making money on it at this point, though. Like, she has a pretty high subscriber count. Like, there's probably some income involved, but you don't get the feeling she's doing it because she needs the money.
No, she just enjoyed Skyrim.
Yeah, so way to go, Internet. Way to go. You chased Grandma
Way to ruin it, and now she's upset. And she says she has stress problems.
High blood pressure.
Yeah, and all that from the trolls.
What are we doing? We can't just let the little grandma off on her own play some Skyrim. You have to tell her how to play. Just let people play.
But she says she knows how to play. This is just how she likes to play.
What? What? You mean you're not min-maxing?
She's just doing it how she likes to.
Sometimes it's just for fun, guys.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
Look, we all want to be Spider-Man, okay? Like, you're like, I don't. Yeah, you do. I
don't know out of all of them. Do we have to be that? Can't we be someone else?
No, that's not. See, now that's a whole other thing. I'm just telling you right now, I look you in the eye and say, Nikki, I can give you the powers of Spider-Man. Do you want them or not?
No, I don't want them. I don't want the responsibility that comes with it.
Yeah, you do.
No,
you know
I don't.
What? Because you want to be super strong. You want to be able to climb walls if you want to.
It doesn't mean I have to, but
you have to.
If people found out I knew how to, well, then I would be expected to.
Oh, I don't. That's why you just don't tell them.
It will be found out eventually.
You know what? You just keep living your life, doing what you want. And, okay, so what? You have some abilities.
All right, so let's say we do want to be Spider-Man. What about it, though?
All you have to do is find yourself the right spider and let it bite you.
And if
it refuses to bite you, you antagonize it until it does.
I don't think that's actually how that works out, but did someone try that approach?
As a matter of fact, they did in Bolivia on Saturday.
Well, that feels like a real spider, too. It feels like real ones.
A Black Widow spider.
Oh, I didn't think we're... Well, then when you turn into Black Widow?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
That's the wrong spider.
All of a sudden, Scarlett Johansson comes home, and you're like, what?
What?
Why are you guys looking at me like that?
I got bit by a spider. Guess which one?
It was a Black Widow spider, okay? And I have all the powers of Black Widow now.
Of course they wouldn't turn into Spider-Man. That's the wrong one.
Right. So there were 3 guys, boys really, ages 12, 10, and 8.
Aww.
And so they decided
that
sad. They wanted to be Spider. Okay, at 12,
that's really sad.
At 12, you're too old.
You think so?
Yes, you're 12. What is that, like 7th grade, 8th grade?
Yeah, but the 8 and 10-year-old, I could maybe see actually believing if you got bit by a spider, you'd be Spider-Man. Oh, this is different now.
10 years old, 6th grade. You're in 6th grade.
Maybe they're from an area where
9th grade, I don't know, or 5th grade. I don't know how old you are, but like
maybe it's different in their area. Maybe it's a little slower pace in the technology and the eye-opening things we have in a more modern tech society. Maybe they don't know that yet.
Somebody should have really sat them down
and told
them that Spider-Man's not real.
So they found the spider while herding goats.
Yeah, and so the spider wouldn't bite them. So they kept antagonizing the spider until it would. And so it bit all 3 of them.
Jeez, they really worked hard on that.
Their mom found them crying, found out what the heck had happened, rushed them to a health center, and they had to be transferred all the way to a children's hospital so that they could be treated and then eventually discharged.
So the next day they had fevers, tremors, and muscle pains.
Yeah, because the Black Widow spider has really strong venom. Hello? Also a Spider-Man character.
I know. Like, oh, my gosh.
Well, where do you think they got all these names?
That's actually it. You're like, all you have to do is read this one article and you'll hit every name for every superhero.
It's true. So Iron Man called and said, no. But they say that the kids are okay.
They were sharing this as a warning that for children, everything is real. Movies are real.
Make sure you let them know, hey, Spider-Man's not real.
Black widows are venom 15 times stronger than a rattlesnake, and they're the most feared spiders in the world.
Yeah, and they won't give you Spider-Man powers.
They're not normally fatal, but it's pretty painful.
Yeah. So let everybody, this is the kind of thing I can just, oh my gosh, I'm going to see this article happening. This is what would happen. My mom would read this article or see something about it and be like, oh, come here. Come here. Sit down.
She calls him Ope then.
Now, I need us to talk about something, okay?
So that you realize it's
Let's
not real?
talk about spiders. Okay, do you know how Spider-Man got his powers? Okay, that's not real. And it would just be like, no kidding.
Well, she just wants to make sure.
I know. That's what I'm saying is my mom would have all of these conversations with me, and it's like, oh, my gosh, give me a break. Whereas this kid's mom really needed to have that conversation.
Well, I feel bad, too, because what about the spider? Like, I have to bite all of you? All 3 of you?
Yeah, what happened to them?
I don't want to bite you.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by 2 people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, Radio U.
Now, Nikki, I feel like this weekend I crossed a potentially dangerous line.
What'd you do?
It was not a good line for me to cross. Some of you may or may not be aware that I am a Blu-ray / 4K Blu-ray buyer. I like to buy them.
He likes the actual copies.
Here's what I think's funny is everybody thinks it's totally fine to buy vinyl, and you come off as some refined person that you have this vinyl collection. But all of a sudden you buy a Blu-ray and you're an idiot. I can stream it. What do you want that for?
I don't know if, to me, Blu-ray doesn't seem like something that's worth the effort of having the stuff, like the clutter of it.
Then you now know how I feel about vinyl.
Yeah, it's the same way. I feel the same way about vinyl, too. So I'm in a part of this little niche. The different being that, like, your friends that like vinyl are really cool, and my friends that like Blu-rays are not. That's one of the dividing lines. Just not the same.
In the community.
Oh, did you watch your Blues Brothers one?
Oh.
Did you like it?
It was. I want you to know that I believe I smiled the entire time.
Blues Brothers is this old movie from this SNL thing, and it's really actually a great movie.
It was something.
But you got the 4K version?
I will tell you that in this new, larger screen that I have, combined with the sharper resolution, there are some things in the backgrounds of a couple of the shots where I was like, Oh.
They didn't notice, made some mistakes?
No. They're, it is rated R.
Well,
and
for some reason.
I was just like.
It's like,
wait.
was it from the 80s or from the 70s?
I think the early 80s.
Well, they had different rules and stuff then.
I was like, wait, what?
What's that going on?
Is that?
You never noticed it when it wasn't such good quality.
Never.
That's
never.
funny.
And so, I don't know, whatever. But no, Nikki, what I did on Saturday, and again, I already know how you're going to react, but I feel like I have to tell you just so I can get it over with.
Get it out, yeah.
I imported two.
What did you do?
2 movies from Australia.
Why?
Because they're not releasing them here.
Are they Zone 1 too?
There's not region encoding on 4K Blu-rays. Oh. They will say that there is, but there actually is not.
Yeah, because was it Blu-rays?
Blu-ray does, but it's not as common.
Sure.
DVD is like absolutely.
DVDs and some Blu-rays then. If you did not know this, if you would buy it from a different country, it might not play in your player. There were different zones and stuff. Because one time I brought in a Pride and Prejudice copy from the UK. Region 2, and it worked, so.
Yeah.
Okay, do we want to talk about what you bought?
It was buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
Which is great. There's this company called Studio Canal overseas. They release movies in the UK, Europe, Britain, but they don't release movies here.
I think that's the one that did Pride and Prejudice.
They probably did.
I know what Studio Canal is.
Did. And so, like, they don't release these movies here, but they release them there. And, there's a few John Carpenter 4K Blu-rays I would like to have. And they were buy one, get one, and it's Australian dollars. So, like, it's $27 in Australia, but that's like $13 here.
Well, you had to do it then, right? How's the shipping look on that?
$7
total. Did they give you a window?
Oh, yeah. End of August is when I'm expecting it.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
Is that because it comes out then, or?
No, they're out. It just, it's a slow boat to China kind of thing, Nikki.
They put it on a boat. They actually do. And it's not the one that has the, like when you fly a direct route, it's not that. You have a lot of stops.
My Blu-rays are going to go on a worldwide tour. You don't know.
They're going to go on a worldwide tour.
Think about this. My birthday's September 21st. I figured they should show up by then. Happy birthday to me.
Maybe you'll get them faster.
So I got 2 of them for like $18, but I just had the total.
Yeah.
Was the total cost. And I just had this feeling where I was like, man, you have crossed a line.
No.
You're importing stuff now.
We're a supportive group here.
What are you doing?
The fact that they won't get here till August is just like, all right, it's fine.
It's fine.
You know what? Everything's fine, guys, right?
It's fine. I feel great about it.
Like, these things will come to you and they've traveled more than you've ever traveled your entire
my whole
life.
Yeah, absolutely. And who knows if they'll be real? Like, I don't know.
Good for
Everybody
you.
seemed to think that they were legit.
And you found out about this, I'm sure, on one of your 4K forums, which is why I tell you guys, stop it. Stop looking at these things.
Reddit has been bad for us.
It doesn't
I do
help.
think it has been bad.
It only enhances the problem.
That's right. It takes abnormal behavior and makes it seem normal.
Makes it seem no problem and then encourages it.
Yep.
And that's where it's dangerous.
Yep.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, what are you guys going to do today? Anything good?
Anything fun planned?
Anybody got anything? Do you need some luggage? Do you need something to pack things in to take with you? Because I know where you can get yourself some luggage with historical import for rock bottom prices. I'm talking only about $45,000.
That's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I think that's all of our vacations combined.
Yeah.
All of our vacations and luggage included.
So apparently they had an auction of royal memorabilia.
Why didn't we get the notification for this? Are we not in that circle?
It took place near the Palace of Versailles a couple days ago, and they were selling all kinds of stuff, including a travel bag from Marie Antoinette's private collection.
Wow.
Wouldn't you look? I mean...
Well, you can't even take that to travel with now. You know they would trash it.
Oh, I mean, Nikki,
this is something you have to put away.
I'm just going to tell you, you're not checking that.
No.
At the airport.
So what type of travel bag was it? Does it show it?
I mean, it looks to me more like a travel chest. than it does a
that's
bag.
old school. Is that what luggage used to look like?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, okay. There's no wheels, so.
Yeah, no. It's not wheel because that would be the poor servant's job, the slave's job
This is carrying this. This is a.
What do you care?
This is a. This is like a chest.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be perfect? You could take that and.
No thanks.
No?
Nah.
No, you're not feeling it? You don't want to have bragging rights when you show up at the in-laws for the week? And
Yeah,
you're
would you mind going getting the, what is it, servette thing that they call it?
Would you grab that for me?
No, thank you.
Just carry that in. I know it smells a little musty. It belonged to Marie Antoinette.
Okay, ask me about it. Please ask me.
Take a look at this certificate.
No,
it just goes to show you that it is, in fact, real.
I'm still a big person or a person of like, let's not waste our money. We could probably do a little bit more with that than this. So I would probably pass on that.
So you're not interested in historical
I am
royal
not.
luggage?
That just looks old.
Such a Philistine. Nikki.
I know, right?
Don't care for the finer things in life.
I just don't care for this. I'd rather, Costco has like the party pack of luggage where you get the 3-in-1. You could have that for like $100 and then you could do something else with the rest of the money.
You could take that money and travel?
Yeah, you could actually go do something.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the mindset of the guy that would be carrying that bag around for the queen,
Right.
not the queen.
Well, it's just different now.
I'm just telling you that, Nikki, you got to start thinking up here
Yeah.
if you want to live up here.
So it had an original note in pencil preserved under glass with a napkin used by her or something. Like they had other things with this.
Perfect. That's what you want.
There was a lock of hair that
You
went
could-
during the auction.
You could clone somebody with that.
I guess.
Theoretically, like if you knew how. But I mean, that technology's coming, sure.
Just going to click out of that. So.
You're done?
Yeah, I don't feel interested in that.
Okay. If you say so. Just a thought.
A lot of times we just use our luggage until it just doesn't work anymore because, it gets torn up whenever you travel
badly.
anywhere. So
There's nothing worse for luggage than travel.
I don't want to put much money into it, even though that looks like a hardy travel chest.
I mean, it's been around for a couple of 100 years.
And it's still there.
The whining, the loathing, the insightful commentary on postmodern historical doctrine. Okay, maybe not the last one. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
All right, Nikki, continuing our wall-to-wall coverage of royal families the world over. Did you hear the news about Princess Elizabeth of Belgium?
I did not know there was this person.
What?
I mean, I know Belgium, but that's about it.
You haven't been keeping track of Beth?
I haven't.
What she's been up to? So she's been...
we try to ignore the other royal family news, so I guess we just ignored everybody.
Oh, no. Belgium's a really different place, Nikki. It's way more interesting. And she says she's going to be joining the military.
Oh, wow.
She's going to be starting studies
That's
at the Brussels...
movie in the making, A Princess in the Military.
It's perfect, right? She falls in love with a guy who's also in the military, who's
He's
super
hard
smart,
at
but
her.
he's hard at first,
He's
you think?
hard on her at first.
Her drill sergeant?
Yes, that's what it's going to be. The corporal or whatever.
Then she's never had anyone talk to her like that before, and so it's strangely compelling.
But then really she evolves into just a better person because she knows all this stuff now.
Right, okay. So is this guy someone she falls in love with, or do we want to go the father figure route? And
they
it's somebody
marry.
that
Marry even though he's not a prince, but they're allowed to marry eventually.
Okay. Yeah. Does she have to abdicate the throne, or does she bring him in?
No. They changed the rules at the end. I don't know what the rules are.
I'll tell you this. After Megxit, they should watch that very closely.
Is that it?
Because next thing you know, the princess is living in L.A. trying to borrow money from celebrities.
Did they say why she wants to do the military thing?
No.
Just going to?
She just...
it's not like required in that country, is it?
I think she's just deciding to do it. One of the current students that was interviewed says that the pampered royal was in for a tough life at school.
See, this is what the movie sounds like. It sounds like the tagline for it.
So, I don't know. I actually think it's a pretty good route for royals to go into the military because, one, they're never going to have them do anything really dangerous. But then they also get to be like, hey, look, I'm like you. I did it. So that's,
I guess,
if you're going to rule a country on some level, that every man, or in this case, every person,
it is helpful that you would go through the whole thing.
Yeah. The whole rigmarole.
Right. So they say it might be tough for her.
Yeah, Nikki. But
for the princess from Belgium.
The military's hard on everybody. It's a tough life.
That is true.
So that's what they're saying.
I just want to know what military for princesses would be like. Is it like for jail for like really wealthy people or famous people here, where the jail they go to is nowhere near the jail anybody else would go to?
I don't know. They'll probably make a big showing
do you
about
get your own room?
Here she is doing push-ups. See? It's hard.
But really, that's just for show.
I have no idea. I can tell you right now.
I'm sure she'll take it serious.
If she needs to know what it's like to live, like normal life, she can swap places with me. Now,
not in the military, though.
Oh, my life here, it's harder.
Is it?
You guys, you want to talk about military life? You come work for the Riot for a while.
Oh. The discipline, right? The discipline we have.
Hey, what do? We get up really early, report for duty.
Yeah,
Boom.
That's about it. I think that's when the discipline ends. And that discipline affects everything else we can't finish. Just saying.
You know what, Nikki? Only speaking when I tell you to speak.
Yes, sir.
Private Maggot is seeming a little big for her britches.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.